there, it's Debbie with the Pickin Coop Farmstead. I'm back out in my garden. It's a beautiful, beautiful day today. Today is Wednesday morning, about 8 o'clock, and there are no clouds in the sky. Beautiful, beautiful day. So I wanted to come out here, and I'm going to be planting up some more marigolds. You can never have too many of those. Oh, and I was going to bring some lettuce seed, and I forgot. Oh, well, I can always run back and get some more. But everything is growing lovely out here. I still haven't had a chance. We've had rain the last 2 days, which is glorious for the garden. So now we're going to do some gardening. So come along. All right, so I have cleared the rest of this bed. The peas are off this way. And I've got 2 marigolds at the beginning of the bed next to where the celery and dill and stuff is. Then I have 1 marigold, the big giant one, in between the asparagus. Oh, look at this happy little fella. I don't know if you can see him. Nice little wormy right there. And so I figured I would go ahead and I'm going to plant one close to my trellis here. So I'm going to do like a shovel length out from the box. And we'll put one, let's do shovel length apart by the trellis. Now trellising I'm saving for, hopefully I have enough this year. I don't know because I'm doing a lot of pole beans. So we'll find out. Again, this is the Cracker Jack African. Look at the roots on this guy. Marigold. So he is going to go down in there. I think I might start some more marigolds in the house. These are both the same type. There we go. That rain was wonderful. Yesterday it rained off and on. I was kind of worried the day before yesterday because of we had a lot of hail too. And I'm like, oh, that's not good. But, so I'm going to try to do 2 marigolds per bed. So the bed to the east of this is where I had a bunch of cruciferous, and I had tomatoes in that before that. So we are going to go ahead and put a couple over there. Then the one next door to that already has 3. That's the first spot that I put my Cracker Jack marigolds. So we're going to try to put some in each bed. So here we go. Okay guys, so now I've got this bed all cleaned out. This soil is looking better every year. These are the best of my beds. The 2 rows on the east side of my garden. This was where I was really getting my soil built up. All right, in goes another. Cracker Jack marigold. And normally, as I said in a video before this, I like to plant my veggies first and then go through and do the marigolds. But it's just still too cold yet. I think the latest that I have planted out would be the 15th. Today I believe is the 13th. Oh, lots of worms in here. It's all a good sign. None of this dirt, when I first started gardening here, had any worms anywhere. And now the soil is riddled with worms, also pests, but it's good soil now, and it's just going to keep getting better. All right, moving on to the next spot. So I have another bed filled out right here. I've got 2 marigolds left. This is kind of like my V bed. I don't know if you can see it. There it is. That post right in the middle. There we go. Right in the middle there. It's a V that goes like this. So we're going to put one in the biggest part, and then we'll plant one on the other side over here. I have at least 2 more in the house, and so mosquitoes are starting to come out. I thought, oh, they're not here today, but guess what? They are. Oh, heavens, I'm gonna have to spray my stuff on here shortly. All right, little Mr. Firecracker, or if I call him Firecracker. Oh, there's actually 2 in one little thing. I'm not going to separate them because they're so close together, but I think they'll be fine. Survival of the fittest, eh? All right. Then we're going to move over to the other side, and we'll get that one. So, let's see. I think I'm going to move my camera. Hang in there. All right, so we're on the other side. My chamomile is down this row. You can't really see it. Hold on. Chamomile is down this row. I tried to put some zinnias along the edge, but whatever pests are in here, I see lots of ants and roly-polies have managed to eat them up. And I have to tell on myself because I did not harden them off. So tonight I'm going to start hardening things off like I should be doing. And yeah, that was my fault. So we're going to find the middle of this bed. And that's where we're going to put this last marigold. Lilo was over in that tall grass out there, and she came flying over here all puffed out. So something scared her to death, probably a grasshopper, who knows. She's a pretty good hunter, but every once in a while she gets a little nutty with little tiny things. Or it could have been a snake, who knows. All right, last of the firecrackers. Boom, in the ground. And if you'll notice, if you can see this beet right here, I'm trying to let it go to seed, and it's just about ready to do that. That is from my fall planting. And so far I have enough room just to leave it there. There's no aphids or anything on it. So yeah, that little guy is just going to stay right there. At least until I get my beans and tomatoes planted. I'll probably run out of room then. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and water these in, and I'll be back. So now what I want to do is, between the wind, the rain, transplant shock, I want to trim up the bottoms of my plants in my cruciferous bed. All these funky looking little leaves, because if they're laying on the ground, they can cause disease to your plants. And if they're broke off, oh, there's ladybugs everywhere, which I'm tickled pink about, because ladybugs get rid of aphids. So some of these leaves look healthy, other ones are like sunburnt, broke off to the ground. It's a good time. After a good rain, it's a good time to pull weeds. And especially since we had hail, I want to trim off any broken little branches or sunburnt branches. Then what I want to do is, I talked about this the other day, is once you plant these things, the dirt around them gets a little compacted. So I like to build it back up around the plant. I think this little cabbage could use a trim. This cabbage looks okay. I can do a little digging there. This red cabbage, can you see this? Yes. That one definitely needs some buildup. There we go. And we'll just gradually go along and do some buildup of the dirt. And it looks like my potatoes, not in this particular bed, but in some of the other beds, they have rehydrated. And it looks like something has been gnawing on them. So that's a good thing. I don't see any bugs, but something has definitely been gnawing on them. So far, I've found aphids, slugs. Oh, I hope there's no aphids on this. Nope. But good news is I have found ladybugs. And we've got marigolds planted in here now. There we go. So we're just going to continue along the cruciferous bed. You get the idea. So we're trimming and fluffing the dirt around the edge. Oops, here we go. All right, so last but not least, here is our volunteer potato bed. It is supposed to be our horseradish. I don't see any horseradish coming up yet. I'm keeping watering it though. Catnip, beautiful catnip. These ones are supposed to be potatoes as well as these. They look really good. Look at this. This is probably added a third to its size from the rain. And look at all these little green seedlings. Not this guy. I'll pull that out. But that is lemongrass. Look at this beautiful comfrey. I can actually start harvesting leaves from that. I want to make a comfrey salve. This is the cruciferous bed, as if you couldn't tell. I have trimmed it up and fluffed up the dirt up around the plant. Beets, something ate most of my little carrot seedlings. I have maybe 2 or 3 left, but that's just what happens. I didn't put the netting over it, I forgot. But we've got all kinds of beets, a little bit of spinach, something's eating that. Calendula and peas down at the very end. Over here, of course, we've got our beautiful good gravy. My brain's not working lately. I am so sorry. Chamomile. Hello. I did find a slug in there, and some of the branches have been eaten. So I'm thinking slugs. I'm gonna have to put out some beer pie plates. Cracker Jack marigold. There's my beet going to seed. Another Cracker Jack marigold. I did get all of these beds cleaned out. Look at this celery. That is fantastic. The other celery is coming along. And then we've got our dill. And those are giant marigolds. Look at these peas. They're doing nicely. I clipped up a few more of those. Then we've got our beautiful garlic, still growing taller yet. Cleaned out all this bed. Chickens are going to have some yummy snacks this morning. Here's the marigolds, Cracker Jacks I planted before. These are the ones I just planted today. This bed is all nice and cleaned out. And those are the ones we planted. So all of my beds are pretty well cleaned out now, except for my herb bed. I need to do a little work on. And this bed is all cleaned out, ready for tomatoes and or beans. This bed is pretty much cleaned out. We've got our parsley. This lettuce, I'm going to go give it to the chickens, but for right now, I'm just going to keep it in there as ground cover until I start planting. And let's see, oh look, these beautiful wild roses. They're a pain in the you-know-what, but that's where I get my rose hips from, so I can't complain too much. That one's in the corner. Look at this. This needs to be harvested. Oregano. Over here we've got our dill. Look though, these are my potatoes that are getting munched on, which I'm pleasantly surprised. Now, this poor little calendula was getting munched on, but now it's not. So here we are. Look at all this. And more parsley, thyme, purple sage. Look at the strawberries. Gabby is coming this weekend. I think by this weekend we're going to have some really ripe strawberries. I need to go through and clean this bed out. Oh, there's a big giant one back in here. Nah. Can you see it? I don't know if you can see it. They're everywhere in there, so that's exciting. Oh, look at the size of this one. That's a big guy. They're just everywhere. So I still have this bed. My herb bed needs a little work down there. So it's the very far back east side of the garden. So I haven't decided what I'm going to plant over in that bed. I don't really know yet. So we'll see what I can do. But anywho, that's just a quick mini garden tour. Alright folks, well I'm off to feed the chickens. I've got a bunch of aphid infested stuff that I was letting go to seed. I had radish and different things, sprouts, Brussels sprouts, that kind of stuff, but I couldn't because of the dang aphids. But the chickens love them. You put them out there in the morning, the next morning I go out and they're just little skeletons. So I hope the sun is shining where you are. I don't know if you can see all this. It's just gorgeous. There we go. Little chemtrails. Never used to see them up here, but now you see them a lot, which is unfortunate. But what are you going to do? But anyways, I hope the sun is shining where you are. I hope you're happy, healthy, and safe. God bless you all, and thank you so much for watching, subscribing. We're in the 490s now, so we're closer to the microphone all the time. All right, lovelies, I'll talk to you later. Bye-bye.